Okay, so our topic for today is about assessment and evaluation strategies, no? Which cover formative versus summative assessment, performance-based and authentic assessment, and data-driven instruction and feedback, no? Uh, Assessment and evaluation strategies refers to the methods and techniques used by educators to measure and understand the student learning performance and progress. Now, these strategies helps determine how our students, no, are meeting learning objectives and allows teachers to adjust instruction accordingly. Assessment can be formative, meaning it takes place during the learning process to provide ongoing feedback, or pwede namang summative, which occurs at the end of the lesson, of course, or course to evaluate overall learning outcomes. Evaluation, on the other hand, involves interpreting the assessment data to make informed decisions about student achievement, curriculum effectiveness, and instructional strategies. Okay? Again, as what I mentioned, no, uh, assessment and evaluation are very essential, no, parts of teaching and learning process because it helps us, no, understand what students know, how they are progressing, and where improvements are needed. These tools ensure that educational goals are being met. And one important distinction in assessment is between formative and summative types. No? Each serve as a unique purpose in the classroom and plays a vital role in improving student learning and overall instruction. Now, so how do we differentiate the formative versus summative assessment? Formative assessment is done during the learning process. No? Again, as I mentioned, it's like checking in with students regularly to see how they are doing. No, it helps the teachers to adjust teaching methods, give student feedback to improve before the final evaluation. Let's say an example. No, uh, a teacher gives a short quiz after a lesson to see if a student understood the topic. If many students struggle, no, the teacher might review the lesson or explain it differently the next day. Another is the formative assessment are often low stakes, no? Meaning they do not have a big impact on grades, no? Their purpose is more about guiding learning than grading it, no? And this assessment encourages improvement rather than final judgment. Some common example of formative assessments include exit tickets, no? A short response to a question before student leave the class, no? We have class discussions, no, group activities, concept maps, and draft essays. No, for summative assessment, wait lang. Okay. For summative assessment, on the other hand, is done at the end of the learning period. From the term is of summative, no? Like at the end of the unit, and the end of the term, or at the end of the course. So it means how much the student has learned after instruction is complete. Let's say, for example, yung a final exam in science or math or eduk that covers all topics from the grading period is a summative assessment. It evaluates it the students achieve the learning objectives. Unlike formative assessment, summative assessment are high stakes. No? They often contribute significantly to student grades. Teacher use the results to assign grades and report academic progress to parents and school administrator. Common summative exams or assessments, final exam, end of terms projects, standardized tests, or final research papers. Both formative and summative assessment are necessary because formative assessment guide instruction and promote learning, while summative assessment verify learning outcomes. Together, they provide a complete picture of student performance. Now, how about performance-based and authentic assessment? Performance-based assessment asks students to apply their knowledge in a real-world task. No? It focuses on how well they can use what they learn to do something meaningful, not just recall facts. No? Let's say example, instead of answering multiple choice question, a student might be asked to create a business plan or create a news article or build a science model. These assessment are often more engaging and encourage deeper learning. No? Students kasi are required to analyze, synthesize, and apply concepts which builds critical thinking and problem-solving skills. No? Another is the authentic assessment is a type of performance-based assessment, but it goes even farther by mimicking real-life situation as closely as possible. Do dapat. Kaya mayroon tayong mga ano ngayon, mga ano, 'di ba, yung ginagamit nating mga devices. It answered the question, no? Can the student apply this knowledge in a real life context? Ayun, example sa English class, halimbawa, is instead of writing a literary analysis essay, student may conduct a mock job interview showing how well they can communicate in use language and practical setting. So, authentic assessment give students a sense of purpose. No, when tasks reflect real world situation, students see the value of what they are learning. No, this improves motivation and retention. Ano mga example ng authentic assessment? Nandiyan na po yung mga ano tinatawag natin na portfolio, no? A collection of student work over time, or demonstration or presentation sa teacher, no? Simulation, case studies, saka yung mga real life problem solving task, no? The challenge with performance-based and authentic assessment is time and subjectivity po, no? Because they take longer to evaluate and require clear rubrics to ensure fair grading. However, their benefit is developing higher order thinking skills are worth the effort. Ano pa? So how about the data-driven instruction and feedback? Data-driven instruction means using assessment data to make informed teaching decisions. So we as teacher collect and analyze data from quizzes, tests, and class activities to identify what students understand and what they struggle with. So a math teacher noticed from weekly quizzes that many students struggle with fraction. Based on this, the teacher plans additional lessons and hands-on activities focusing on that topic. And this approach helps personalize learning. So teachers can group students by skill level, assign differentiated tasks, or provide one-on-one tutoring based on individual needs. It ensures no student is left behind. No? Feedback is a critical part of a data-driven instruction. No? When we give timely and specific feedback based on student performance, the student knows exactly what they need to improve. Example, instead of just writing wrong answer on a paper, a teacher might check your calculation in step 1. You added instead of subtracting, helping the student see and correct the mistake. No? Parang i-guide natin yung bata. So effective feedback is clear, constructive, and encouraging. It should focus on the task, not the person. So telling a student, you didn't meet the goal yet, but here's how you can get there is more helpful than simply giving a low grade. So therefore, overall assessment and evaluation strategies, when used well, can transform teaching and learning. So they guide instruction, motivate students, provide accountability, and ensure that everyone is working meaningful and measurable in a measurable goals actually, no? Uh, Okay. So to sum up the discussions, the assessment and evaluation strategies are essential tools in education that help measure student learning and improve instruction. So the two main types of are formative and summative assessment. Again, formative assessment happen during the learning process and are used to monitor student progress and provide feedback for improvement. And this include quizzes, class discussion, and activities. So summative assessment, on the other hand, occur at the end of the unit or term to evaluate overall learning, such as final exam or end of the term project. Performance-based and authentic assessment focus on a real-world application of knowledge instead of just recalling facts. Students demonstrate what they've learned through tasks like presentation, portfolio, simulation, or projects. So authentic assessment mirror real-life situation, helping students develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Through more time-consuming to assess, they promote deeper engagement and understanding. So lastly, Data-driven instruction uses assessment result to shape teaching discussions. Now, teachers analyze student performance data to identify strengths and weaknesses, adjust lesson, and provide personalized support. Feedback plays a key role, helping students understand their progress and how to improve when used together. These strategies create a more responsive, inclusive, and effective learning environment. Okay?